for conducting this ceremony. The Honorable Attorney General, my sister, our newly appointed chairperson of the Iebc, the Honorable Commissioners, all our guests this afternoon, good afternoon. It's a cold afternoon. I welcome you to the Supreme Court. My apologies for our very humble facility where we entertain guests in a solemn occasion like this when you're sitting and others are standing. One of these days, when God blesses us, we will have a state-of-the-art room where we can conduct such ceremonies. Today, bear with us. Thank you all who have spoken for those wonderful speeches, congratulating our chairperson and the commissioners. I also join you to congratulate the chairperson and the commissioners on your appointment and formal assumption of office. Today marks the beginning of a great public duty, one that demands not only competence and courage, but also a firm and unwavering commitment to institutional impartiality and the democratic aspirations of the who you represent. This ceremony is not just about fulfillment of a legal requirement, though through the administration of an oath, rather, it is about the transfer of trust that Kenyans have transferred to you. In you now resides the solemn responsibility to safeguard one of the most sacred rights of our Constitution, the right of every Kenyan to participate in free, fair, and credible elections, as enshrined in Article 38 of the Constitution. You are taking office at a time when our nation is undergoing a period of great reckoning, a moment when Kenyans, especially our young people, are expressing discontent, are expressing frustrations with public institutions. The cry from every corner is for transparency and justice. And it is against this backdrop that it acquires even greater weight and urgency. Our country must be built on the bedrock of true democracy, and it is your duty, Honorable Chair and Commissioners, to ensure that this is preserved and that the priority you was wrong. The term of the commissioners ended over 2 years ago. Without leadership and unable to discharge the mandate. We always say, law abhors vacuum. This institutional vacuum has delayed several key processes that are vital to Kenya's democratic health. Now that the Commission has been reconstituted, it is imperative that you move with speed to undertake the critical constitutional and administrative functions that have remained in abeyance, and to begin in earnest and timely preparations for the 2027 general elections. The Iebc, as a constitutionally independent body, is not merely an election managing institution. It is of constitutional democracy. Your work directly impacts the legitimacy of the government, the stability of our nation, and the confidence of the people in the rule of law and democratic governance. You are now the custodians of a process that has in the past defined the trajectory of our nation, for better or worse. Let me echo the words for better or for worse, as often said in the church by the priest while solemnizing marriages. I am emphasizing this because Kenya belongs to the entire population of 50 million plus Kenyans who all have rights. These rights are spelled out in the Constitution and other laws. These rights are not a preserve of a few Kenyans. Kenya does not belong to politicians. It does not belong to the judiciary. It does not belong to the Iebc, the police, or any other institution. Kenya belongs to all of us, and no one has a right to trample over others. Each one of us, despite our rank or office, we owned only one vote. Those of us who are privileged to occupy public offices occupy them on behalf of Kenyans, and therefore we must always humble ourselves and deliver services to Kenyans with grace and humility according to our Constitution and the statutes. And for us Kenyans and all of us, whatever is not working, notwithstanding the pain or difficulty in fixing it, whatever you will find not working and serving Kenyans properly at the Iebc, you must confront it and you must fix it. This is why you have been given the mandate. Let me also mention Kenya's painful history of disputed elections, cycles of violence and loss of life and property, which is a stark reminder that elections are not just political events. It is not just an event. They are national security. Whatever you're doing, you must always think about national security. You must think about the economic of this country and the human rights issues behind every Kenyan who is entitled to free and fair, credible elections. It is in response to that history that the framers of the 2010 Constitution embedded a strong legal and institutional guardrails, such as the Iebc, yourselves, to protect the integrity of the electoral process. May the first prefix of your name, independent, always sound a clear tone all the time, especially if there will be a time when anybody or any institution will attempt to interfere with your decision-making independence. In this respect, I'm happy to share with you my own experience about my real guard, which I call the shield and defender. It has always been Article 161 of the Constitution that says the judiciary is independent, and in our decision making, we are not subject to anybody or any institution. And anybody trying to interfere with our decision making, anybody who has sworn to defend the Constitution, will obviously be attempting to violate their own oath of office and also the oath of office for the electoral commissioners. So the prefix independence is very, very important for you as you move on to discharge this noble duty. You must therefore ensure that every decision, every action, every process you preside over adheres strictly to constitutional principles of fair, free, transparent, and accountable elections. The law requires, and the people of Kenya demand, that the commission be and be seen to be independent, impartial, neutral, efficient, and professional. Let me also be candid. In the eyes of many Kenyans today, trust in public institutions has been waning, unfortunately. There is a pervasive perception that public institutions have become detached from the needs and values of the people. There is undoubtedly a great deal of public trust deficit, especially between the government and the citizenry, which requires serious engagement for us to rebuild. Being a woman of faith and listening to many clarion calls, I agree that 2025 in Kenya is the year of rebuilding our country, and it's also the year of repairing the breach. The greatest aspect of rebuilding for me is the broken relationships of trust between the people and the institutions of government. The people must trust the people in government who serve them. We in the judiciary and the National Council on the Administration of Justice, that Iebc is also a critical member, we have taken the challenge to see how we can reach out to our people, the people we serve, and ask them, where have we gone wrong? How can we serve them better? How can we build the trust? And how can we move together? We are doing this through the court users committees, and I believe you will also undertake civic education in a manner that will build the public trust during this year of the clarion call of rebuilding our nation and repairing the breaches wherever they have happened. Because deficit of trust poses a real danger to our democracy, to our national cohesion, and our constitutional order. You must rise above this crisis of confidence. More than perhaps any other institution in this season, you, the Iebc, must earn the trust of the people through your conduct. You must always ask how the decisions you make, just like we do in the judiciary, impact on the society. You must also be very, very wary about your integrity. This journey begins today. The oath you have taken must be the compass that guides all your decisions and conduct. It binds you to fidelity to the Constitution, as the previous speakers have said, and also to the law. It commits you to serve the people of Kenya diligently and honestly. It reminds you that public office is one of public trust. As we look ahead to the 2027 general elections and also the upcoming by-elections, the stakes could not be higher. The Kenyan people are watching. They expect nothing less than a commission that will deliver an electoral process that is peaceful, legitimate, transparent, and verifiable. This is your constitutional calling and your historic duty. I urge you to remember that democracy is not sustained by the laws and institutions alone. It is sustained by the trust, by fairness, and by the collective belief of citizens that their voice and their vote will matter. You have the opportunity and the obligation to restore and strengthen that belief. I take this opportunity on their wisdom, courage, as you undertake this sacred. We will stand ready to support you, to uphold them, and we urge you may God shine his light upon you every day as you set out to serve Kenyans. Thank you very much. May you also serve Kenyans with grace and honor.